Welcome down to Devon Koi Pond on not a bad morning. Hasn't been too bad this week. We've had several thundery days, which meant the temperature's been up. I'll have a look at what it is on the pond in a bit. But had a lot of rain yesterday, about 3-4 inches of rain through the day, several heavy showers that were absolutely ludicrous. But we'll get to all that. Right, if you haven't already, please get down, smash a like and a subscribe, greatly appreciated. This week we're going to do a little bit of more playing around with the piss filter. I'm going to take a feed out of the second Eazy pod and feed it by gravity from that one. I'm 50-50 as to whether it'll work, but it's worth a try because I've actually got peed right off with doing the filter floss on top of it. The jack matting in the actual skimmer is taking a really good percentage of it, but the filter floss on top, it was getting filthy after like 3 days, and I'm not big into swapping floss out like that. I certainly not going to wash it out, so I've been putting fresh bit in every 3 days, and it's a bit of a pisser, to be honest. So I'll flip you over to a quick clip earlier in the week when I swapped over to some foam, which is far better. At least I can take that out and it washes out easy. I just down on the deck, go over it with the hose pipe, squish it around and pop it back in. That's worth washing, but the filter floss is not. So I'll flip you over to that in a minute, and then we'll go into the gravity feeding. But let's have a quick look at that. Right, as you can see, filter floss on top of this. This has been a week. I've left it for a week. I've got 2 layers of it. Got some squares cut in the top of the baskets underneath it, but this is what happens to it in a week. Yes, as I said, the only filtering on this water is the jack matting that's in the skimmer. So I'm not big on cleaning stuff like this. I throw it away, but it's too much for this. Now, I don't mind squeezing out a bit of foam. That would be an option. So with that said, I've got a little parcel over here. So here on the step, this came. Right, I'll open this up and I'll show you what I'm going to stick in on top of it. Give us a second. Okay, so after looking, this is all I could find on eBay or anywhere. Sheets of a decent size that I could cut squares out of. Foam sets, I think they were around the £26 mark. But that comes as 3 sheets. I think they're about 46 inches, 45 inches by 24 inches. So I'm going to use just the fine sheet, cut some squares that will sit in the top of each basket, and then run a strip of the medium over the top. Don't think I'll need the coarse, but I'll do it that. Now, I don't mind pulling them out once a week and giving them a squeeze out, but that's what I'm going to stick in on top. Winter time, I think I'll be able to get away with these sitting there for weeks. It's just the amount of food at the moment, and the jack matting in the skimmer just can't pull the fine particles out. I don't want them going into that piss filter. I want it fairly filtered, so I'm going to cut up the fine into squares and then lay a strip of the blue one over the top, the fine obviously being the green, and the black one here is the coarse. I don't think I'll need the coarse one, but the option's there if I wanted to, I suppose. Right, let's get this cut up and stuck in on the filters. Tops a minute. Catch you in a bit. So a bit of chopping with a nice sharp pair of scissors. I've got 6 small squares and a strip to go over the top. Now, I don't think it would quite be long enough to cover the entire top of the strip, because those bits I cut to go in the baskets, Eazy got 6 of those with 2-3 inches spare, but I don't think it's going to be enough to go right over the top. So let's strip this off the top of here, and I'll catch you back after I've got the bits in. I'm hoping this will go just a week, and all I've got to do is take them off and give them a rinse out. I'm sure winter time I'll barely need to touch them, but the amount of food going in at the moment, and certainly in a bit when I switch over to feeding the shower off of the filtered water from the Eazy pod, it'll be even better. Right, let's get these in and I'll click the camera back on again. Right, there's the bits at the top of the baskets. Just pop a layer over the top a minute and see what happens. Okay, so here we are with the foam on top. That'll be a lot easier cleaning for me. Don't mind squeezing a bit of foam out. It actually fitted on there very well. If anybody knows another good cheap supply of this kind of foam in larger sheets, I'd be appreciative if you can pop me over a link. I'm sure the drips coming down the front will sort themselves out once it starts to go right, but as long as all the moss stays wet and all bubbles through here, I'm not going to fuss too much about a little bit coming over the front like that. In fact, it looks quite good. Might even get the big camera out rather than the little amity one I use here most of the time, because I'm frightened of dropping it in the pond. I might get the big camera out and do some slow-mo for you. Look pretty good on the drips on that. Right, catch you all in a little bit. Oh, while I'm at it, you can see the water's pretty good. Always go on. Anybody with a roof, no roof over their pond, knows what it's like to try and video fish in the day. Great difficulty with the glare on the pond. Best thing you can have is a pagoda over it with a black roof. You can video the buggers anytime you like. But the water, since the upflow, as I was saying to James, that upflow is one of the best things I've done, especially with the amount of food I've had going in this year. It's managed to keep the water pretty spot on, barring the tannin in the water from the food, giving it a slightly yellowy tinge. It's absolutely fantastic. Right, back in a bit. Okay, right, that was me popping the foams in, which was a handsome job. That's definitely helped. Don't have to clean that every 3 days. I've got 2 layers of it, the little squares and then a bit over the top. And taking the bit off the top after 3 days, the bits underneath were still nice and clean. It's actually working better than the filter floss. So I'm quite happy with that, but I want to gravity feed it. Alright, no fancy mugs down here, by the way. Right, that said, if somebody wants to send me a fancy mug, I'd be more than happy to use it. We'll have a quick look at the pond temps in a minute, and I'll give you a show on what I'm going to do to gravity feed this piss filter, which I've actually planted out with some of the baby tears, or whatever it's called there now, the mind your own business. I've actually got some of that in there, and the moss is really taken, so it's looking handsome. It's going to grow all over with moss. I got a feeling, a really good feeling, it's going to be a cracking filter. Right, let's nip over and have a look. Right, pond temp down here today, 20.8, 20.6, 20.7, so over 20 degrees, and it's been like that all week because it's been hot and humid. Skimmer working under pump straight through the jack matting and then over onto this, which is mostly filling up with fly larvae, to be perfectly honest. Right, so here we go, the 2 Eazy pods. Right, this feed here is the feed from the skimmer, which goes all the way around. I can feed it to both pods, but at the moment I feed it over back to the first one, so it doesn't come into this one. But I'm going to take a feed out down here below water level, and I can gravity feed that back into this lower pipe here. That valve you can see full on there, sideways on. That one directs the water into the piss filter. That's under pump pressure from the skimmer. There's another valve here on the side that comes up, that directs it round to the Eazy pods. So I've got the choice there. All I need to do is put an outlet on the side into the Eazy pod here, so it's getting water that's been cleaned by the first one, obviously not cleaned in this one, but cleaned by the first one. I can then drop it gravity into there, and I think I've actually got a height difference here of, I would say, from the top of water level in the Eazy pod, 3 inches of drop I've got. So we're at the height of this one. I think I can stick the piping just below water level there, and it'll be quite happy. Incidentally, anyone that is well into the Eazy pods, the pipes, cleaning pipes, right? Now I like to be able to alter the height of the water in my Eazy pods. So I've got a couple bits like this, which is the cleaning pipe bits, that I can slip into the centre with those slots, and moving them up and down, you can actually alter the height of the water in the pod to what you want, more than what it wants to itself. Using that, sliding it up and down, you can set the height of the water in your pod if it's pump fed, which of course the entire top of my system here is. The only thing under gravity is the first bit. Everything else, only thing under gravity is the first bit down here. The vortex, the answer, and the upflow. Everything else is gravity. There is advantages to having a pond on a hill. Right, Martin, see, you're on about 2-inch pipe on gravity back from the Eazy pod. Like I said in the message to you, I don't think you'll do it, mate. I don't think you'll get the pressure that you want out of it, and it won't flow enough. But all I need to do is get a feed out of here on gravity on that, and I reckon it'll flow the 2,000 to 3,000 litres that I need for this. I don't need a fast flow through this filter, it wants a nice trickly dribble. So I'll get the tools out in a minute, pop the camera up on top, axle, glue, bits of pipe and some bends. We'll get this thing in and see what happens. Right, catch you in a minute. I might fast forward some of it, I might just run it at its normal pace, we'll have to see. Okay, this is the bit I've loosely made up just for now to get it in there. I've dry fitted it here because this side of the valve's not going to be under pressure. This side I want to glue, because if I end up going back to the pressure feed, I'm going to have pump pressure up to here. But this side I'm going to just tape assemble because it's only going to be gravity feeding it back down. So if I cock up and balls this right up, I can just go back to it and blank the hole up in the pod if I'm not happy. But I think this is going to work. It's going to give me that fall, and hopefully I can get 2,000 to 3,000 litres falling under gravity through 1.5-inch pipe. Right, I'm ready to drill the hole down here. I'll drop all the water level a minute and we'll take it at that. Incidentally, any of these joints you want to do and get them apart again, I've found, providing you aren't using tremendous pressure with them, hot glue gun, glue from a hot glue gun will stick these together, and you can get them apart again, blow torch on them, warm them right up, and they will pull apart if ever you need to. So that's one little tip that I like to use as well. There goes my hose saw down the bottom. I've got to get a magnet and get it out pretty blooming quick. Don't like rusty old anything. Magnetic telescopic stick. Don't think a mechanic would be without one. Right, probably going to want a little bit of a reaming job on the hose. Or the hole, I should say. Right. Chicken stuff on the milk. Okie dokie on that, not a problem, it's looking good. Just going to line up the Y, and I can cut the bottom pipe. I'll cut the camera again, no point in me filming all that. Right, just going to mark for this one in the bottom there, cut into that pipe. I need to cut enough, hopefully enough to jibby it both ways, get it stuck in with an upright pipe on it. I can then get stuck into that one. Bit of a fiddle to pull it apart and get it all in there, but that's one thing you can do with this type of pipe work. The pressure pipe, try bending that around and pushing it in on joints is an absolute pain. Or I'll probably put a flexi between the bottom pipe and that. I'll put a rubber boot on it because it'll just make it a lot easier for me to, if I ever need to take it apart. Right, let's mark that a second. Oh, I'll fast forward it. This is going to be a butthole. Rightio, we're all in. It's the T-handle here. It's on a slide valve and it's up. It's running out here. I'm not pouring all the water I need to in yet. I'll run the pumps up, but as suspected here, it's turned down to a dribble. I've not reached the end here at all. Too many holes in the spray bar. I'm going to have to alter the spray bar, but I'm not going to mind doing that if it works like this. Right, I'll take the pumps up to what they need to run at a minute and see if that improves it any. I think it might. We'll have a look. So, after playing around with the pump speeds a bit and the levels, oh, incidentally, this pod, the K1 always seems to go green on top. It's got a transparent lid over the top of the filter, so that I tell you, it goes green in a matter of a couple of days as well. But this is the level I like to run this one at, just under the overflow. And the pipe coming in here is a skimmer, so the skimmer's going through that one now. And in here I can play with my centre height on that pipe to get the flow out through there, which is now running into this one. And it's going in at a good enough rate, I would have said, but I'm going to have to play with the hose just to get the flow even, because down this end, although it is running, it's a bit slower at this end. Too slow for my liking, but it's got to be flowing 2,000 or 3,000 litres, I would have thought. an hour, which will do that nicely. And hopefully I won't have huge loads of cleaning on the foams once a week, fingers crossed. But that's sorted that. Everything else in here tickety-boo, mess in the bottom of the filter pit, it's normal. Got nowhere else to hide stuff. Right, let's pop you over on the step a second. Oh, incidentally, you can see I put a rubber jointer on down there so I can get it out. I see all too many people, right, coincidentally, yeah, that down there, that's a flexible one here, coincidentally, I see all too many people do them up with a screwdriver. Don't do it. Get a socket that fits it on a spanner handle or a ratchet. Ratchet probably too much sometimes because people over tighten them, but put the proper tool on it. Sooner or later you put a screwdriver on it, you're going to bloody slip and shove the damn thing in your hand. Alright? It's gonna happen. Not that I'm that health and safety conscious, but with the kids at school I'm very careful, and I've seen my share of accidents over the years, including somebody shoving a screwdriver in their own eyeball. Don't ask, it does happen. Right, let's get you on the step. Okay, was that job worth it? Yes, it was worth it. For me here. Definitely to feed that filter, as I'm going to want to run filter water for it so slow, and I wanted to filter the water a bit. That first Eazy pod will take out an awful lot of rubbish and save me a lot of cleaning on that. And winter time I'd probably do without the foam on top completely for what I'll be going for it, because the skimmer's wound right down then, so I'll just have enough water going through it so it's just wet. Right, so one other thing, I've got myself another bag of Mediclay, NT Labs Mediclay. Now I'll stick some in a bit. Now I had a bag last year. Now all these clays, I honestly don't know. I'm not going to belittle any of them, but I mean, my years of pond keeping, I've never used clays. Last year was the first time I've used clay. I bought a bag of Mediclay just to try it, put it in, just to see if it would help with the fines in the water, which at the time I had quite a few that the upflow sorted out. Did it help with the fines? Yes, a bit. Did it help with the tannins that are in the water? No, didn't do anything with that. Did it give extra minerals? Probably yes, but I've never used it in all my years. But I've got another bag. I'm going to put some in. I'm hoping it's going to have a bit of an effect on the discoloration in the water, which is literally the amount of food I've been putting in. It's discoloured the water, so much food going in. Maybe it'll cut that back a bit. It was on offer, I picked another bag up, so I'll chuck it in a minute. Right, I'll do that after the video and then put the bit in, alright, so it won't look all white behind me in a minute, it'll look all white after I've done it. Right, incidentally, the filter's here. I think pull it out a bit too quick as well. It needs to sit there for a couple of days white here, sort of 24 hours, and it's back to how it was. But click over to that a minute and I'll get back to you. Okay, now I know the pot, but it's just under 300 grams of Mediclay, so we'll get this mixed up. A bit of water. Obviously I'll speed up a little bit of the stirring. still ended up with a load of bits. Right, as I said, I don't know. Snake oil in a packet. I've just never needed it over the years. But I've whopped it in there now. Let's see if it can take some of the discoloration out of the water. It's not bits, it's actually tannins. Colouring from the food. Probably some tannins from the fact that I run the veg filter and plants. But we'll see. I'll report back next week how many hours it took to clear. But I would imagine it'll be fairly quick. Rightio. Back to me saying bye-bye before I did this. Bloody look like afterwards. Over and out. Right, if you haven't already and you've enjoyed this week's video, smash a like and a subscribe down here, and we'll find some more crap to entertain you with next week. Well, something to entertain you with. Always doing something down here. Be starting to prep for winter soon, but hopefully the temps will last a few more weeks. We have had some big dives overnight, where it's been jumping between sort of 17 in the mornings first thing, and they're getting up to 21, 22. That's a big jump. It makes me almost think like, oh, I'll get the covers and put them on so that the water bounce temperature-wise isn't so bad, but still early. Got another sort of 6 weeks really before I normally put them on. But I might get them out and prep the covers up and start sorting the pond for winter before it does get too cold in the water and I've got to cut the food and everything back. So anyway, hope you enjoy looking at that white pond. Hopefully I won't be looking at it for too long after this. But we'll catch you all next week. Bye-bye.